What's up, people? Just doing a quick video here. First knife I've picked up in a while. Kind of a treat to myself, but I sold a few knives to get it, so it is what it is. This is the Liong Mah Lanny Flipper, made by Riot Knives, obviously Liong Mah design. I'm going to do the specs right off the bat. They're off of Blade HQ, I believe, or GP Knives, but here we go. It is 4.25 inches closed, 3.25 inch blade length, 7.5 overall length, S35 VN steel. It is about a little over half an inch thick on the handles. Blade stock is 150 thou. One site said 150, one said 160. It's somewhere in between there, but it is decently thick blade stock. So like I said, first knife I picked up in a while. I had twins, so I really have zero time to do anything. Just super hectic, but in a totally great way. So it is what it is. I just really don't have time to do a lot of things, i.e. make videos and, you know, look at knives all day. So anyway, I picked this up because it just looked, I was super pumped about the handle materials. Honestly, it's a bolster lock. It does have a steel lock bar insert. This one is brown micarta handle scales with titanium bolsters. He had 3 different varieties. He had the brown micarta, green micarta, or carbon fiber. And then he also did a couple special ones that had damascene steel blades. So, but just the handle materials I really love. Micarta is probably my favorite handle material on folders or fixed blades. And I dig the blade shape, size, so I decided to pick one up. But like I said, I'll just go over this now. The bolsters are titanium bolsters. I believe the hardware on here is also titanium. I'm not positive. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. The bolsters, backspacer, and clip and liners are all orange peeled or wire wheel finished, whatever you want to say, which honestly is probably one of my favorite finishes. This one is a pretty light orange peel. I think it looks great, but orange peel is great for just like wear resistance. Honestly, it holds up pretty well to, like, you know, scraping up against something. It doesn't show stuff like bead blast or, you know, a satin does. So really like that, really like the size and just the overall look of it. It is called the Lanny Flipper. Apparently it's supposed to be off of like the Lanny's clip from Tony Bowes. I like traditional knives too. To me, this doesn't look anything like the Lanny's clip. It has a clip point blade and more traditional, one traditional handle material. Titanium's not traditional, multi-grinds. None of this else really reminds me anything. If you put this knife in front of me and say, hey, this is, didn't tell me the name, I would never say, oh, that looks like a Lanny's clip. So that's my 2 cents. I still think it's an awesome knife, but whatever. So go on the ergos now, or ergonomics of the knife. It's excellent. Honestly, I really, really love this knife. It's probably up in my top 10 by now, of all time. Definitely of what I have now. But ergonomics, it's just enough. I wear large size gloves, so I can get a full grip, still have a tiny little bit of room. And any grip I use, it's comfortable. So ergos are spot on, and I love a straight back knife. I'm not too much of a fan of like having a thumb ramp or anything like that, which this does not have. So ergonomics are great. Blade shape, love the clip point. The multi-grind, I don't really give 2 shits if this was multi-ground or just one style grind the whole way. I like the knife. It is hollow ground. This one has a satin finish. I think the green ones are stone washed. I can't remember offhand, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. And then it has a flat ground at the tip. It is really thin behind the edge. My calipers, why I didn't do the specs myself, are the batteries are dead, and I forgot like 6 times to pick up a pair of batteries every time I go to like Home Depot or somewhere. So it is what it is. But this knife is nice and thin behind the edge on the hollow grind, and it's really not too bad up on the flat ground. It is like 3/4 ground, but since it's so thin, it does cut rather well. You know, if you're cutting something like a hard plastic or like an apple, it's probably going to split it once it gets up there. But for everyday EDC use, it's perfect. I mean, it really does work well. No problems there. It's not the most slicey knife I ever have, but it definitely performs tasks just fine. I haven't beat the shit out of it, obviously. I have, ran it through some cardboard, and cut some few other zip tie, a few other things with it. So really haven't put it to use crazy amounts yet. Obviously, you can tell the blade looks pretty fresh. This satin does look awesome, but it also is a magnet for any kind of, it grabs every fingerprint, smudge. It just is what it is. I still like it. It does, the multi-grind does look cool. It has a fuller up here, just for looks. It really doesn't serve as any kind of opening function. I mean, if you grab and pull with 2 hands, I guess you could say it helps out with that, but it's a flipper. I don't know why you'd be opening it like that. Anyway, so on those 2 notes, I really do like everything about it. Like I said, the multi-grind does look cool and it's functional, so it's fine. When you start losing function in form of looks, and you start losing my attention. So, Lockup, yeah, whatever, decently early, not too far, not enough. Lockup, by the way, is totally solid. I mean, I can really wrench on this thing, and it's got no place. So, Lockup done very well. Action, it is on ceramic bearings, I believe. It's nice and smooth. I haven't oiled this or done anything with it, so let's flip it. And it's action's super smooth, perfect action. Flips awesome. Detent's nice and strong. It is not going to wiggle out, and obviously functions fine for the flipper. So in that area, it's all good. The fit and finish on this is really excellent. This knife is pricey, but it really does show in the details. From the pivot to where the bolsters and the micarta meet up, it's just seamless here. On this side, you can get a little feel of it, but it's also the lock side, so there's going to be a little gap and a little more challenge to doing that. But the fit and finish of this is on par, if not better, than a lot of the customs I've ever had. So really done well. Centering is just spot on. There's not like, I mean, the tolerances are excellent for this knife. It does have some jimping on the flipper tab, totally functional, not painful. This jimping I was kind of worried about just because the look of it, it reminds me of a lot of shit that tears up your thumb and I hate. And I was quite pleased. It really doesn't at all. It's done perfect. It still kind of looks cool, and I think that's obviously why these people put that on there, to make it look aggressive and look cool. But it looks cool, it's functional, and it's not painful. So, an A for the effort on that jimping. Pocket clip is milled titanium. I'm more of a spring clip guy. This pocket clip is one of the hits on this knife. Not so much for looks. It's just not, it's not the worst, and it's not the best. You know what I mean? Like, kind of when you stick it in your pocket, this clip, it kind of like hits here, and then you got to use a little more pressure, and it pops down on. And then when you take it off, it's not quite as bad. I can just pull it out when I take it off usually. I've had this in my work pants, some thin shorts, and jeans. So kind of run the gamut around thickness for different types of materials for pants. If it's got a little bit thicker material, it's going to be a little bit more. But it does function. It's not to the point where it makes me hate the knife or really get pissed about it. More importantly, when they have milled clips, that's one gripe I have about milled clips, and the other is, it can ruin the ergonomics of a knife, and that can be perfect, and then you got this big nasty bulge or this shit poking you. In this pocket clip, no hot spot. It's very well done in that regard for being a milled clip, but like I said, it's not like putting a Spyderco wire clip in your pocket. It's not that easy. But it's not difficult to the point where you have to use 2 hands or anything like that, because I've had milled clips where it's just like you literally have to hold your pants and then jam the knife in there. And that's not the case with this. It just kind of hits, and then you got to use a little more force to get it in. So that's one hit. The other hit for this knife is something I kind of always, it seems like manufacturers, custom makers, no one wants to get this right. Very few. But, you have a decent plunge line there, and then you got like a little sharpening tool here. So, but you can see right down there on the edge, the whole edge is pretty damn uniform, except that one spot. I'm trying to get it light right down there. You see that? How it kind of gets a little wonky right where my thumbnail would be. And if you look at it there, you can see how it thickens right there. So you have a sharpening tool that's basically useless. Not, I'm probably going to extend it eventually when I get to sharpening this knife. I'll just Dremel it out a little bit. And obviously needed to be taken back to like right here so you could keep that edge nice and straight. So I will fix that eventually. But all in all, that's a problem on a ton of knives. You know, like the Sebenza gets that right, and I love it for that. But I've had a ton of knives with that problem. This isn't the worst I've ever seen. It's just a little bit, but it still irritates me. Why do you put the little divot there, notch, and not make it big enough? It's stupid. But beyond those, that and the pocket clip, I really can't complain anything about this knife. It's a pricey knife. I believe they go for $4.25. I didn't pay that much, but that is what they go for. Chinese made. Some people have a problem with that. I don't. Quality versus price. You have a bolster lock. You got some titanium, micarta. I heard one guy saying that, you know, S35 yen, you should get a better steel with it. You know what? On semi, I can kind of agree with that, but I don't think it says, hey, this knife isn't worth it because it's that much money and you don't have a better blade steel. S35 is fine. It's great user steel. I've used it a ton. You know, it's a good steel. You know, what I prefer, I actually like CTX. XHP is probably my favorite steel, but M390 or something like that, yeah, they could have put it on. It wouldn't add that much cost, but I don't mind the S35VN, and for everything else you're getting for $4.25, the tolerances, the lockup, the materials, I think it's well worth the money. You know, a large Sebenza is more than this. You know, with my card is like $485, and it's not bolstered. It's just two slabs of titanium and a blade. So if you can justify that, I think you can definitely justify the price of this knife. My 2 cents, puts it out of the ballpark for, you know, decent number of people, but, you know, that's fine too. Like I said, this knife, as far as EDCing goes, it's right on the right size for me. I'll throw a little size comparison up here towards the end of the video. There is a Sage 2. I'm running kind of straight up and down, and you can see, try to get that even for you. It's just a little bit longer than the Sage, and it has a lot more cutting edge. So, and there's why you don't try to orange peel your own knife with a Dremel tool. The other side, I used a buffer, and it turned out a lot better. But Riot can obviously do it a hell of a lot better than me. So anyway, that's that on this knife. I really like it. I'm gonna be keeping it for sure. Put it to use. I'll maybe do a video some months down the road after I use it, you know, a decent bit. But like I said, I have cut stuff with this, but nothing like gone on and on. I can't say the heat treat's great and not, you know, anything like that. I have no idea as far as, you know, cutting. Like I said, I've cut up a couple pieces of cardboard just to see how it would do. I cut some plastic, some random shit. Nothing like heavy duty. When I say plastic, I mean like a zip tie or some shit like that. So maybe do a longer report on it, see how it holds up. But all in all, really dig the knife. Think it's a great looking knife. Like I said, mostly positive and only 2 negatives. And, you know, it is what it is. The pocket clip and that blade. This one irritates me more than this, because they were trying to do the right thing. They just didn't. They're just like, whatever. But like I said, not a huge deal. But that's it, people. I'm out.